Okay, we're going to get started here, and so I appreciate you coming. I'm sure there'll be a couple more people that pop in as we get this going. So appreciate it. It's called the presentation today. I give this every week or every couple of weeks. It's called How to Stop Cold Calling and Generate Sales Leads. The agenda here, I'm going to go over just a process that I've leveraged and used continually, and also used with clients. This is Sean Fisher. Hey, Sean Fisher, how are you, buddy? Glad you texted me. Thanks, appreciate that. So I think I'm just going to hit X. I just want to see if anyone else has actually joined here. No, it's just the two of us. You know what? I'm going to keep this in presentation mode because sometimes it gets feedback. But if you have any questions, just quickly text me and we'll go from there. So, Sean, here's the here's the agenda. It's going to take about half an hour here. I'm going to kind of plow through some of this stuff quickly and give you a high level. So long story short is, one of the things when I was doing research on cold calling, it's, why doesn't cold calling work? So found a couple of things that were online. One was through LinkedIn, and it's a paper on social selling, 7 ways salespeople drive revenue with social selling. And literally what they found, they were actually referencing an IBM report that said that cold calling only has a 3% success rate, and it's decreasing at 7% a year. The other one that I found was Baylor University has cold calling gone dead. And the biggest thing is this was it was a test that, or a report that was done using Keller Williams, the real estate office, and it was in a bunch of different states, I believe in the Southwest U.S. What they did was they came up with 6,000 plus phone numbers. And then you can see the stats here. I mean, like literally 28% of the people answered. 55% didn't answer. That's not shocking. Actually, what's shocking is that 28% of people actually answered. 19 or 17% were non-working numbers. Now, the big thing here is that they only booked 19 appointments, or 0.3% on the total and 1% on all the answered calls. So that's a dismal result as far as I'm concerned. So one of the things that I look at is, you have to take a look when you're cold calling. Only a portion of people want what you have at any given time. So they're looking for your product or service. And I always say it's kind of like winning the lottery. Is that even if we use the best case result here, is you got to find the 3 in 100 who need what you want at that point in time, and then convince them to buy from you when they're probably going out to multiple suppliers on that product. And the way I look at it is you just flip it around and just say, you're doing something that's actually wasting 97% of your time. So, long story short is time is valuable. It's probably the most valuable resource that you have. And you're doing something that, unfortunately, is wasting your most valuable resource. So, long story short, Sean and anyone else who may have joined, I've been in your shoes. When I first started doing sales 20 some odd years ago, it was a long time ago, we had to pick up the phone. We didn't have the internet. We had to pick up the phone. We had to make calls and stuff. And one of the big things was you get into that fear of rejection. I remember sitting in an office in a bullpen with a bunch of people around me, and you always look, you feel like you look stupid in front of people when, you're getting rejected as well. There's that fear of loss, right? Which is like, I'm not going to get anything. It's not going to happen. That just kind of keeps moving, and, it really grinds on you as well. One of the big ones I always had was when people basically would tell me to get lost when I picked up the phone. And, I tend to think of myself as a caring person. I don't think anyone wants to be getting anyone angry, but I'm sure anyone who's been cold calling, understands this is not fun, a fun thing to do. And also it's grinding on your confidence. So, I mean, that's, there's so much more that I could be in, but long story short, I've been in your shoes. So now I want to show a way that you can generate sales leads and prospects that are looking at what you have to offer and want to do business with you. Now, Sean, you and I have talked about this. If anyone else is on the line, it's a simple little process. It's a 5-step process. Actually, it's a 6-step process. Before I jump into that, though, I want to talk about kind of some of the stats. So some of the stats that I found, I'll reference these a little later on. in the presentation, but 60% of people go online to find out about a product or service. In fact, actually, I was doing some research yesterday, and I found that it was 72% of people go to Google to actually find out about a product or service. Not just go online, they go to Google. During this time, 83% need help during this process. Now, the other thing, too, is you have to remember is people are educating themselves online because they have so much information. And I think the stats that I saw were people look at 5 pieces of information prior to even getting a salesperson involved. And I believe according to the zero moment of truth, which is from Google, I look ZMod up online. It's a fantastic report. They talk about how it's almost 10 pieces of information or 10 things that people look at before they start bringing a salesperson in. So anyways, 83% of people, though, once they're going through this process, are they're looking for help. They're trying to find answers to questions. 71% expect immediate assistance, and then those that don't get immediate assistance, 48% of them leave your site without ever coming back again. So, I say, how do you leverage this to your favor? And as I alluded to, it's the 5 steps. And I'm just going to back up for a sec, see if anyone else here. Nope, still you, Sean. So, when I look at the 5 steps, you and I have talked about this. Get a website or a landing page or something that is the kind of the central hub of where you can drive people to. Now, get some email software, marketing software, and have an offer or have something that you can give away to individuals. And then live chat. So Sean, you and I had talked about this. Live chat is a great way to engage. I'll get into some stats on that. This is optional, the advertising piece. Social media, though, because it's free, I always tell people leverage it for what you can. And there's ways that you can actually leverage social media, and I'll show you a couple of tools and tricks so that you're maximizing your time on it. Last but not least, I always say follow up. This is it's not a step. This is like a must-have. So many people do not follow up with potential prospects or sales leads, so it's a must-have, right? So first things first, let's get into this. This is step 1. Have a website, have access to a website, or have a landing page. And long story short, I'll talk about a landing page in a second here. Here's a landing page that I have for people to try my live chat. And what you see is up top, there's a bold statement that says get up to 10 times more sales leads. The middle part here is a video that people can play to understand more about it. There's the strong call to action with that arrow pointing, saying, yes, I want to try this free for 30 days. What you're not seeing is down below this, there's a lot of benefits that I have listed off, but unfortunately I couldn't fit it on the page. And last but not least, I've got the live chat that pops up on this so that if anyone has a question, they can ask that question before they engage. So it's, there's multiple ways or multiple things that I'm doing here to try to generate or get people's names. And literally, long story short, it's all about building a list and getting people's names and drawing them into that marketing process and ultimately converting them into a sales lead. So some of the resources that I use, Sean, you and I have talked, Lead Pages, phenomenal product, great for building quick landing pages that help you convert people into a sales lead. It depends on the different pages that I've created, the landing pages that I have, but I would go, leadpages.net is where you go to look at this stuff. My pages convert anywhere from 1% up to, I've had some that are like 30 to 40%, depending on specific things and what it does. So it's tremendous. Another one is called Unbounce. It's great because you can actually create your own landing pages, move things around, set it up, integrate it into a bunch of different email software programs, and then away you go. Nice thing about those two products is that they're actually hosted. They can be hosted by Lead Pages, and they're also hosted by Unbounce, or you can put them up on your website. Last but not least, if you need a website, my recommendation is go to GoDaddy and get a WordPress site. And if you need to get something done up for you, easy way to do it, just go to Elance or Fiverr and find people that can actually create or set the website up for you. Also, on top of it, GoDaddy has there's wicked support. It's amazing, and they can walk you through that process. So that's the first thing. That's kind of the foundation. The second thing is get the email software and have an offer. And what I do is, I use Aweber, I use MailChimp, and I use Entreport or Office Autopilot, what it used to be called. 3 different ways, 3 different systems, three things for different mechanisms on different websites. I like all of them. They all do certain things in a good way. But, I tell people just kind of do some investigating, find out what will work for you. What I say is create something of value to give away to your clients or your potential clients. And one of the ones that I have is a 25 must-have sales and marketing tips that literally took me less than an hour to pull together. This little ebook has gotten me, it's gotten me hundreds, like thousands basically, of email subscribers. And it took me under an hour to pull together. What I did was I took some blog posts that I have, and I pulled that stuff together and put it into an ebook. It's like literally about 5 pages long or something like that. But it's great. It's people like it. People send me emails saying thanks for pulling this together. Now, one of the things about email marketing is once you've created this mechanism, you get people onto a list. If you have 1,000 subscribers per month, and your email sign up is 3% of the people that are coming to your website. Within 18 months, the only reason I went to 18 months is because after 18 months it gets a little, it's too tight, you can't see this stuff. But within 18 months, you've got 540 people sitting on your email list. And on top of that is one of the things is that industry averages say that the product uptake is, or contact or whatever people do, is 6%. So on your entire list, that would be 32 people. Even if a third of the people opened up your list, then that would mean there's 10 or so people that are going to reach out to you as well. Just on my side of things, I get between 6 and 10% of signups that hit my website on a monthly basis. I'm going to back out. I actually pulled up Aweber that I use, and just I have a bunch of lists that are automated here where I have subscribers on. But just to show people, yesterday I got like 5 people that subscribed to my website. 1 unsubscribed. I haven't got any today, but I anticipate I'll probably get anywhere from 3 to 7 people signing up today on my site. One of the ones that I recently did, Sean, this is more for your benefit, is Lead Pages has something called a welcome gate. If you come to my website and it's the first time you've ever been there, I give you an option to download my 25 must-have sales and marketing pieces of information, plus I send you daily sales and marketing emails, and that thing is cranking for me right now, bringing people in to my website. So Sean, if you want to know more about that, reach out to me. If anyone else wants to know about it, if they're watching this replay, reach out to me, chris@salestipaday.com, and I'll give you a hand with that. So here's the email marketing side of things, right? So the resources, like I say, Aweber, MailChimp, Office, Autopilot, or Entreport is, until you start getting a lot of subscribers on your list, I would just stick with these 2. After about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 subscribers, you might want to look at a beefier system like Infusionsoft or Office Autopilot to help you out. The next step. So we've talked about the foundation, which is let's create the website or landing pages. Let's get the mechanism for capturing names and emails. The other one here is looking at leveraging live chat. So there's a live chat widget on my buddy Geeks on the Way site to the lower right-hand side there. The guy by the car, John Leishman, good buddy of mine, he and I actually created this live chat widget because we could not get the other things that we had tried, live chat widgets to try. We couldn't get them to do what we needed them to do, and it drove us nuts. And so, I'm going to go back to the thing that I said before. 60% of people go online to find out about a product or service. In fact, 72% go to Google looking for a product or service, which is a whole separate thing about trying to get found on Google. 83% will help you during their investigation online, or look for help during their investigation online. Once I say 71% expect immediate assistance, of those, 48% leave if you don't even help them because they can't get answered. Big thing, engage with them, ask questions, and you can do that with live chat. So the live chat software we have, I know, Sean, you're on it. Anyone else watching the replay of this, one of the things that we found live chat wouldn't do is it wouldn't pop up and engage with people more than once. And we found that if you do it 3 times, typically by the 3rd time you're engaging with a significant amount of people. And the reason being is because you're timing these things out at, first one may pop up within 15 seconds, next one pops up at 1.5 minutes, third one pops up at 3 minutes. Once it pops up at 3 minutes, people are engaged trying to find information, they're trying to find out more, and they're more apt to actually connecting and talking with you. So that's a huge opportunity. Some of the other things we do, integrating into CRM systems and the robust reporting stuff that we actually do. And then last but not least is I actually have a whole bunch of people that can actually man it for people. So if anyone who's watching the replay, if you want to try it, reach out to me, chris@salestiptoday.com, and I'll give you a hand. As I say, it dramatically increases the results, right? Take a test. I always tell people, go take a look at your direct competitors' websites and see if they have live chat on their sites. If they don't, you have a tremendous opportunity to engage with people before they get a chance to engage and hopefully drive the sales process. So it's, it is a tremendous tool that you can use. Step 4, so we've gone through the 3 steps. Step 4, we've got advertising. I always say this is optional depending on what you want to do, but the 3 main things that I look at for advertising, these are just 3 online. There's numerous things you could do. Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, and Google AdWords. I'm going to see if there's anything here. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Facebook ads. I was running Facebook ads for a long time, and it was great because it was only costing me, I think it was like 26 cents a click on average to get someone through to my website. They were converting about 3-4%, which was not good for me. I didn't think it was great, but I kept tweaking it, moving it up. And then, so right now I've actually backed off using Facebook. And I was using LinkedIn as well. I backed off using that. Google AdWords I haven't used for any traffic in a long time. These are mechanisms that you can actually leverage or use just to in the short term try to drive people to your website. So if you are using AdWords, I'm going to show you with live chat. Here's something that's interesting. Where I live in Calgary Furnace Repair, it's $18 a click on average when someone comes through to Google looking up Calgary Furnace Repair and they click on the ads that are either above or down the side. If you have a conversion rate of 3%, that means you're spending almost $600 for a lead to come in the door. And that's, I'm going to say the conversion rate of 3% is probably an industry average. I don't know for sure, but, grins and giggles, let's use 3% here. Live chat, when you put it on your website and can engage with people, in fact, it will convert at up to almost 10 times better than if you don't have it on. And in that case, you're now generating leads at $120 if you go even half that amount, 5 times increase or lift in doing this stuff. So that's kind of a little bit on advertising. The other thing too is social media. So social media is free. It's just sweat equity on your time. So technically it's not free, but it is a little bit of involvement on your time. I use a tool called Social Oomph. Sean, I would highly recommend taking a look at that. It's a phenomenal tool to drive people through. You can schedule tweets out on a regular recurring basis to individuals. And in fact, what I've done is these 2 tweets up at the top here are things that I've put together, and I just schedule these to go out on a daily or kind of once or twice a week, and kind of a set it and forget it to drive people through to my How to Stop Cold Calling seminar, so that when they sign up, they can take a look at what I'm doing here. So that's kind of just leveraging social media. You can use Facebook, you can use a bunch of different things. The tweet tool, sorry, Sean, the tweet tool is called Social Oomph. So if you look just under. If you look at the 2 boxes up top there, if you can read that, Social Oomph, SOCIALOOMPH, Social Oomph. And if you need help with it, anyone that's watching this on the replay, or Sean, if you need anything, just reach out to me, and I can do a quick overview with you guys on that stuff and show you how I leverage it. In fact, if you go to my blog, I've got just go to salestiptoday.com and search Social Oomph, and I've got a few things that'll show you how to leverage and use the tool as well. Mm-hmm. So my pleasure, Sean. By the way, and for anyone who's watching, Sean's texting me on my phone right now, so that's why I'm talking to him. Last step, follow-up, right? So one of the things I tell people is that when you leverage a process like this, not everyone's ready to buy. You're going to have to nurture them along. And how you nurture is potentially monthly emails, weekly emails, daily emails if you can do it. Doing webinars. Webinars are fantastic. I get today's a little dismal. Don't have a lot of people online, but I do have I do webinars. And the other thing I do is I actually record the webinars. I use a tool called Join.me, which is about $120 a month. It allows me to record it. It allows me to have up to 250 people online, and we've got a built-in conference call system in it. And you can record these and use them as posts for your blog or even as an email that goes out. So it's multi-purposing content. Last but not least, you can create ebooks as well and send those out to people, and just keep people engaged, obviously. So I'm going to go into the case number one. I'm going to use my buddy Geeks on the way. So John Leishman there down by the yellow car, leveraging the live chat. He was using AdWords to drive a lot of people to his site, but based on the industry he's in, it was becoming too expensive for him. His profit margins were eroding. So literally what we did was we put the live chat on his website, and he gets between a 12 and 15% uptake and above and beyond what he had before. And because people are engaging with his agents that he has doing this, or people in his organization, they're pre-qualified. So he's getting about a 15 to 20% additional revenue jump on a monthly basis. And in fact, to a point where he stopped doing AdWords and used this because it was generating more profits for him and other stuff. And in this case, when we go back and take a look at that Baylor example, where it's like less than 3%, it's or less than 1%. He's generating 40 times more leads than cold call. And so if we look at this, like he's getting 40 leads for every 341 connections that he has. Other guys, in the other one, they were getting one lead for every literally 333. So if you compare it apples to apples, it's like 40 times better. The added benefit that he already has staff in place, so it's no additional cost for him. They just, his staff jump on and start engaging with people and generating sales for him. So it's for him, it's a tremendous tool. I have a roofer in Ottawa. I can't name who they are because it's just tremendous for them too. One of the things that they do is he gets a 66% uptake. So he gets, for every 3 chats, he generates 2 sales leads. Now, the unfortunate part for him, though, is he's a specific type of roofer. So these leads are not necessarily for him. And he was discounting them until I talked to the guy. I said, look, wait a second. No. People will pay for those leads. So he went out and found some other roofers that it will work for. And he is selling these leads to these people now. And he's got a revenue stream that comes off that. So for him, in this case, it's insane, right? He's getting like 220 times the average. Now, that's not every month. Some months it's lower. Some months it's, bang on. But, when I first did the analysis against that, that's what I found with this guy's site. So now, the one thing I do want to tell people, if you're putting something like this together, if you're running with it, there are cases where this doesn't work. Not all leads are qualified. Some are bad. I will give you an example. On my site, I used to have live chat and blanketed right across the board on my site. I actually pulled it down and I only use it on specific landing pages now. The reason I did that was because I would have people reaching out to me asking for sales tips. And I kind of scratched my head saying, okay, you're like on a site called Sales Tip a Day. Can't you figure it out from there? And, I'm being facetious. That's kind of mean-spirited, and I'm not a mean-spirited guy. But, literally it was not, it was not qualified people. So I just, I tell people if you're leveraging something like this, just like anything, it's not the, it's not the magic, the silver bullet or whatever it is, or the magic that pulls the leads in. You're going to have to qualify some of this stuff. So I'm going to go through the process really quick here. So once again, you can leverage social media and advertising to push people through to a website. So the top one is one of my Facebook ads I used to run, which was great because it was like next to nail. It was 26 cents to drive traffic to my website. The next one is a LinkedIn ad. What I like about LinkedIn is you can focus in on specific people in a geographic territory based on their titles and such. And it can be laser focused. The one thing I don't like, though, is you got to pay $2, minimum of $2 per click that goes through. So it can get very expensive. So there's certain circumstances where it doesn't work. Last but not least, I'm using social loop once again to push people through to a landing page for them to join my how to stop cold calling session. And there's my landing page as it comes in. And as I say, there's a video on there that people can play to find out more. They've got the ability to engage with me on live chat, and they also have a means of contacting me or getting on an email list. And as I said before, it's all about the email list. If you can get people on that, you can continually market to them, nurture them along, and ultimately can convert them into a sale. So obviously, there's where I'm engaging. There's where my call to action is, and all that stuff. So when you're doing this stuff, one thing's like I say, I just talk about the advertising side. Experiment. Take a look around and see. If Facebook might work for you, LinkedIn might work for you. Understand where you're putting your marketing spend and where you're getting your biggest bang for your buck. So I have an offer, Sean. I'm going to plow through this really quickly, but one of the bigger things is that obviously I tell people about this. A lot of people are busy. They can't do it. I have an offer. One of the things we look at is, a lot of people drive traffic to their website, but unfortunately they cannot identify who those people are. So, beforehand, when you're driving people to your website through different mechanisms, you got zero visibility into what's going on. You have no idea who these people are. You're flying blind, and literally you can't create a follow-up plan. So there's a few things that I can do that helps companies out, with their email, being able to cookie people, see when they're coming back to your website, looking at social media and tracking what actually works and what's not working, taking a look at any pay-per-click campaigns and calculating ROIs against that. And last but not least, if people are coming to your site through organic search results, there's a way to identify those people or a portion of those people to understand who they are. So now we're starting to identify the visitors. So as I said before, zero visibility, no insight, you're flying blind, you got no follow-up plan. Once you start identifying people though, you got more visibility into what's going on your website. You can also see what people are doing on your website. You can trigger notices. So basically, you can send out an email and it cookies someone's computer when they come back, and you see them hitting different spots on your website. You can create reports, and it can trigger a notice so that people will reach out to you. And then last but not least, now you're starting to create some means of a follow-up plan. I have an economics degree. I'm a big fan of the Pareto effect. The 80-20 rule is, why waste your time on 80% that's going to generate like 20% of the value? Flip it around, find the people that are on your site, identify them, and reach out and connect with them so that you can generate more sales in less time. For example, you have 1,000 visitors to your website. Before you have no visibility, you have no idea who's coming to your website. You got zero people. If you get literally up to 30% or identify 30%, that's like, potentially 300 leads that come in the door. Now, once again, it's not all are going to be qualified, but even if we take a third of that, that's 100 potential follow-ups that you can do throughout the week, which is 25 a week, or 25 a week, five a day. So that's, it's a great way to create a better mechanism for generating sales leads. I have a plan that I help with people, to create all this stuff, track it, show what's going on. Long story short, I got an introductory plan, an intermediate plan, and an enterprise plan. I'm not going to do a hard sell here. If anyone out there who's watching the replay wants to see how to do this or wants to find out more, I'd be more than happy to go through all this process with you. So at the end of the day here, it is it. I don't know how fast I did this. Let's take a look at I did it in half an hour. I'm getting better at this stuff now. It used to take me 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but if you want, reach out to me, Sean. You know how to get a hold of me as well. You got my phone number and everything like that. Anyone else, reach out to me, chris@salestipaday.com, or else phone me at 403-630-1243. Sean, stay on. I'm going to open the line, see if you got any questions here, buddy. So give me a sec. Sean, are you there? Hey, Sean, I can hear you. I'm going to stop